If your ink's too slow and your nib won't flow, here's one of the places that you can go. Larry is here to see you through with Mr. Announcer and Cubby too. It's Larry's Fountain Pen Reviews.
Mr. Stanley, where's all your stuff?
All around me.
No, all the stuff you won.
Oh, well, one pen I'm currently writing with, Jim Hines pen, and Mike's pen currently in waiting.
To wait.
Yeah.
Shame on Mike.
Yeah,
No, I have the pen. It's just
yeah, we have a casualty here.
Uh-oh.
It sounds like the nib unit failed.
nib collar. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've sent a new one off to Stan, and he's sending the old one back to me, and I'm going to take a look at it. It is it's hard to say much about it at this point, but it was leaked. The nib collar was leaking, so leaking ink. So
that's not
well. Yeah, that's not good. I want to take a look at it and see if I can figure out, what happened to it, and if I can try to catch anything. I want to see what's wrong and see if any of my other ones are like that. I'm kind of nervous about shipping until I know what that one did.
Well, it can be used in the eyedropper. If somebody wants to eyedropper your pen, it still can be used.
Well, yeah, but that's not the intention. The intention is for it to
I
be
know.
perfect.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't even know what I'm doing.
Hello, Dan. Hello, Dr. Joe.
Hello.
Hi, Dr. Joe. Hi, Dan.
Hey, there's Lucky.
Yeah.
See everyone.
That's your new nickname here, Jake.
So Larry is kind of resting his breath because he's been getting things set up and things here. So what do we got going on today?
Got home from work, eating some dinner.
Well, what have I been doing? I've been getting ready to go fishing.
Oh, yeah?
Anybody here fisherman but me?
No.
I used to, but haven't fished as a kid. Haven't done it in a long time.
Yeah. Well, I live on a small lake, and so we have fish in our backyard. We just got to go catch them and bring them in so we can eat them.
If you could just train them to jump up into the net in the yard, then you would,
And they clean themselves. That's all I care about.
Yeah. My brother is an avid fisherman. He has a little boat, inflatable boat, bunch of rods, and reels and stuff like that. And going to the shows actually.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, that's his thing.
We have a lot of bass and crappies and bluegills and catfish and stuff like that where we're at here.
We have trout, and they release it in the creek every spring.
Oh, they're good eating.
Yeah,
I've never caught one.
And also bass and
Yeah. I thought about.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Gene. Go ahead,
Mike. Yeah, I was just gonna say I live about a couple hundred feet from a river, and it's a small river, but we can catch fish out of that one, and catfish, and walleye, and a lot of different kinds of fish.
Wow.
Cruise through there.
Wow.
And of course, being in Minnesota, there's always lakes nearby, so lots of chances to fish.
Is Wisconsin or is it Minnesota that they call the land of the lakes?
Minnesota is the land of 10,000 lakes, and that's the motto. There's been some controversy there. Wisconsin says they have more than that.
They have all the
but Minnesota actually is underselling too. Actually, I think the actual count is like 30-some thousand lakes. But
Mike, I heard that the state bird in Minnesota is a mosquito. Is that true?
The mosquito has been drawn as the state bird. The actual, official one is the loon, but which is kind of silly too. But no, we have the mosquitoes are quite fierce. Yes,
I used
the lakes too.
I used to live in South Dakota, and the state tree was a telephone pole.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
All the things you can write about in your pen pal letters.
I got a couple of them done today. I got one done for Troy, and one for Tony, and one for my son Jake. I got theirs ready to mail off tomorrow. But I only got 3 pen pals, Jake and 4, including Larry, of course.
So do you find yourself writing the same thing in all the letters, or completely different in every letter, or?
No, it's a little different, you know. Sometimes I put little sayings on the back of them. Sometimes like some little quotes on the back, you know. Sometimes it's the scripture, or sometimes something else here. This one here I actually stole on the internet. I don't know, maybe this is one of you posted this. I liked it. The swordfish has few predators to worry about in the wild, except for the seldom seen pinfish, which is said to be even mightier.
I've seen that several places.
Have you seen it?
That's a good one.
Well, I thought that was kind of cute, so I kept that one. I thought of you today, Joe. Yeah, you've got me checking out this Mr. Cypress guy, and I tell you, I've got to get one of his pins someday. That just looks so cool.
Yeah, they actually, you know, in person, it's really, you got to see them in person to really appreciate them.
Really.
And yeah, I mean, I've got Jonathan Brooks right now out. I get my gold nibs from him. And so for the one with the rabbits, I gave him 2 different images to choose from for a rabbit to be engraved onto the nib. And that last one I posted, they call the Four Shin. That's a massive pen. I mean, it's longer than the Emperor. It's almost as wide. It doesn't fit into my pen cases. And I got a fancy number 4, which I want engraved onto the nib for it. And yeah, so he's going to I forget which pen show he's going. The Baltimore Pen Show, is that coming up? Anybody know?
So yeah,
he's going there.
I think Baltimore's coming up. Yep.
Yeah.
So Jonathan Brooks, or is it Brooks? Brooks,
Brooks.
And he does your nibs.
Real popular lately because of his resins.
Okay.
He makes them for Leonardo. He makes them for, I believe, Monte Grappa. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. He's got lots of demand, and he also does incredible urushi work.
Oh boy! Now I saw another one. Was it him? Was he the one who does the little Athena owls for you?
Yeah.
I was looking at his site a couple of days ago, and you can buy their steel ones for like $35 for steel.
Right.
Absolutely. So if I get an Athena owl, then I could put it in one of Mike's ebonite pins. You see?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So when you buy his nib, can you assume that it's going to come with a little feed and everything?
Oh yeah, Yowo nibs and Bach nibs are sold complete.
Okay.
You never see them sold separate. It's always with the entire nib unit. They come as a unit. So
cool. I'm still waiting for Mike to turn some more ebonite.
Yeah. I've got some to turn too. I've got
waiting.
You might see this. You know, this might be familiar. I was going to do some more of the red and black. That's my next. That's one of my next projects. I was going to do some red and black.
Is it going to be as good as
commissioned?
Is it going to be as good of a red and black as what Joe just got off your last batch? Do you think is going to be about the same?
It's going to be very similar. It's the same material, so it's going to be very similar in terms. But of course, the pen's going to be much better.
Oh, they're getting better, huh?
Well, I hope so.
I know you think I'm just kissing butt. I'm not. I'm honestly.
No. I'm learning.
This last batch, I'm telling you, the seam is just seamless. I mean, it just absolutely fits together perfectly. The threads are very, very fine, so you get a lot more grouping power. You know, and it just is absolutely a tremendously made pin. I just think you did an amazingly good job on it. I can't imagine them getting any better than that.
I appreciate that, but I've been as of this month, I've been in this for 11 months. I haven't quite made a year. I'm a veteran of 11 months. And I think as you go on anything, especially where I am right now, I just see how much more I have to learn. You know, I've got a long ways to go. So yes, they are going to get continuously better. I'm working on a set. I don't know if you've seen these now. On this latest batch, I've kind of indulged the seamless part of it, and you know, on yours, if you notice, it's kind of, the edges are somewhat rounded.
Yeah.
On between the pieces, because that makes it a little more comfortable. But like on this newest batch, I'm not doing that. I'm just letting them go. And you can see the seam. Here, I'll open it up a little bit so you can see the seam. The seam is even more closed.
Okay.
But as a consequence, the edge is sharper. So if you were somebody who holds the pen way back here, you're going to feel a sharper edge. You know,
I think
on yours, I rounded it so that if you happen to be somebody who holds it way back here, it's a lot more comfortable, right?
Yeah.
I personally hold them way up here toward the end of the section, so I don't even feel the threads or this step. But on this pen, on these newest pens, because I've made this so sharp, let me get it in front of the camera again. Here we go. If I get it in front of the camera, you can see it's pretty sharp. So that makes the seam even less visible, but it also makes that edge sharper.
Right.
So if you
So if I were to ask
there's
you,
always a trade-off on all these things.
well, if I was to ask you to if I was to get another ebonite pen from you, could I ask you to do it like this one, so it's rounded? Because
oh sure.
When I often write with, like, if you see this, it looks like I'm writing close down, but on the other side, I'm way back. See?
Right.
So
I was showing this to a friend today at work, and he holds the pen the same way. See, I tend to put my thumb right up next to the index finger when I'm holding it. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, I see.
But he holds his thumb back here like you do.
Yeah, that's what I do.
But his thumb is further back, you know.
Yeah.
Even though from this side it looks like your fingers are right out to the tip, the thumb is riding way back
I
here.
hold it the same way, but way back.
You do too, yeah. I don't think I want
way back on the section, you know.
Yeah, Stan, you're way back here. You're holding it more like this, right?
Yeah, but
Okay. And so
real quick,
with that kind of a hold, you would want a pen. You would probably want one of the pens that have the overlapped cap. So grab one.
Right. Not to feel this. Yeah, I know
You would prefer one like this. Now, the cap has an overlap when you've got it closed, but when you open it, there's no step.
Right.
Now you still have the threads, so that can. And some people are bothered by the threads, but now if you hold it way back here, you're not riding on a step.
Right. I know. I have a ring
because there's no step there, and that's a choice as well. You can decide which way you like the pen to be. You know?
I think that Larry's trying to say something. Larry, were you trying to say something?
Thank you. Oh, hello.
Okay, I guess we'll let you talk.
Okay. Well, I do want to say a few things, and I'm not going to elaborate a whole lot because it'll ruin it. I am asking Mike, or working with Mike, and we've been doing this for a few months now, he's going to pick up his game more, because there's certain things that we talked about that he's going to work on. It's going to take a while to get there because they're not something you can complete overnight. It takes practice. It takes, you might not succeed the first time. So it's nothing that's going to be rushing. It's something that he's going to have to take his time. But if anyone can do it, it's going to be Mike. And you'll see, God willing, down the road, what I'm talking about. Next, Mike is working on 2 really huge projects for me. 2. And he's been working on them for a couple of months, which I can elaborate, because it's going to affect someone, maybe, I don't know. And if that someone doesn't like it, they can send it back to me. So anyway, anyhow, it's a very special project. It's a secret, isn't it, Mike?
Yep, it's a secret.
Yeah.
And he's telling us about the secret to just annoy us.
Yes.
And that's one of the keys about secrets, is to, of course, not discuss the secrets.
So, are we all on now? I don't know how to get out of this. Yes, I do. No, I'm out of all that junk.
Oh, you look pretty cool with those sunglasses, Larry.
Thank you.
Lower left-hand corner.
I've been doing drugs, so I need to go ahead and, well, I have been. And I don't know how to get this thing out of here.
Lower left-hand corner.
I am a lower left-hand corner. Good day. Let's see. It's not coming up. Lower left-hand corner.
What you trying to do? Turn your video back off again?
No, I'm trying to get everybody on.
Oh, you want to see everybody? Go up to the top and choose gallery view.
Ah, okay, thanks.
Top right where it says view.
So anyway, Doc, how the heck you been?
Good, Larry. It's good to see you, man. Hope you're feeling somewhat better. I know it's a tough gig.
You know, this diabetes, I beat the diabetes once, but once you're a diabetic, you're always a diabetic. You're a controlled diabetic. So I worked really, really hard for about 5 or 6 years, and I beat everything, lost all the weight. I did everything like I was supposed to. The only thing that it didn't achieve, like people say, if you lose all the weight, you're not going to have that pain anymore. Well, didn't work with me. Still have it. So, and you know, there's things that I'm okay with, because I'm not going to take away my quality of life to enjoy life like I taking something away. I won't do it selfishly, but like there's certain foods that I like, I'm going to continue. Like I'm going to continue everything, but I eat moderation until I get to Italian food. Oh well, that's a weakness, real bad weakness. I'll eat the whole thing of spaghetti or lasagna, and it's so good going down. But anyway, so long story short, I am slowly turning to diabetic. So the numbers right now are still okay. The doctor said they're like on my phone, it showed like a 7.7 on the A1C, but we didn't do an actual lab today because I did so much at the hospital. He said that we'll do it next time. So as soon as I get through all of these antibiotics, not to refill them again, cool. And he asked me something that I didn't know. He said, Larry, what's wrong with your lung? My lung? I don't know. And he looked at me and said, right here. He said, this, looking at you, I want you to go to the lung doctor. Huh? I said, I wasn't even told that. So he's checking on that. And then now, when I was about 9 or 10 years old, Doc, maybe you can answer this one because I'm totally senile. That's okay, in a good way. That 9 or 10, I got allergic to penicillin. I forgot what it was that, was it hives or rashes? But anyway, I've been allergic to penicillin all my life. So this one doctor from the infectious control team asked me about that. I told her what I just said, and she said, well, we're going to put you back if we need to on penicillin because you probably grew out of it. Is that such a thing?
It is such a thing, but it's always a risk. Yeah. And so if you're in a hospital, right, and you have an allergic reaction, they're right there to give you the medications. But as a dentist, if you told me you were allergic to penicillin, I would never put you on that or some of the associated drugs with that. They're called cephalosporins. It's just too risky. But if you're in a hospital and you have a problem, they can give you the epinephrine injection, all the stuff, you know.
And that's what my Dr. Phillips said. He said, you know, we're not going to do it right now. He said, you have to be, you know, watch or something, make sure that you're not allergic. You're not going to take that risk. So, okay. But I think that doctor may have taken it out of my profile. You know, when you go to the hospital, they have all these meds. So I need to let them know that let's don't try that until I'm tested. Or isn't there a way you can get tested?
There is a way, but I think what they would see, the thing is, you know, the bacteria you had, as you well know, it was pretty severe. It's a pretty bad bacteria to get systemically. And they've only got a certain amount of time to get that under control with antibiotics because bacteria start to double, you know, and so if you start with one copy and they double 20 doubles later, they could be close to 1 billion copies of it. So that's why they've got to hit that pretty hard. And from what I understand, I don't know this for a fact, but they were having trouble finding the antibiotic that worked with you, right?
Right.
Did they finally find it? Did they find one that worked?
Yeah, they found one that worked. You know the name of that thing that they found that was causing other problems?
The
name of that long one, the infection control?
Oh, Enterococcus faecalis.
Yeah.
You know.
Enterococcus faecalis, yeah.
You write that down, you send to Dr. Phillips too. Mm-hmm. So they finally found that was it. So they gave me this pill to take, and whatever pill I'm taking for something else, my doctor wasn't happy with it because the pill that they give me, I think for diabetes, I think, isn't good for people my age that have all these problems. It's only going to make it worse. And he said, nobody even, bothered to contact me. So I think I have 2 left. Go ahead and finish those. Then he's gonna, that's it.
Larry, a lot of times, Larry, the only person that'll tell you there's a problem is the pharmacist. A lot of physicians don't really know. I mean, listen, it was a time where even what I do, I knew most of the drugs people were on. People were on so many drugs, even myself. I mean, there's drugs I've never heard of before. We're at this point where we're keeping people alive with these medications. Myself too. I'm a diabetic, I have hypertension, all that stuff.
There was I forgot what drug it was, and my pharmacist called me and said, Larry, I just want to let you know that I'm supposed to do this compound for you. And it's just not working right because what you're going to be taking, it's an injection, but it's going to be going into this compound. And he just said, it's just not coming out right. He said, so I'm going to get a hold of your doctor and see, what he wants. So they got it straight. Yeah. I'm glad
You're taking an injectable antibiotic, not an oral?
It's going to be oral, but they're going to put that injection into an oral.
Okay.
Hey,
whatever works, man. As long as thank God it worked.
Yeah. And the pemphigus has gotten worse in the mouth. To get on the lips. Down there it's about so. But I'm still okay because you know what? I'm doing what I love. I'm enjoying it, and this is really where my heart's at. And believe it or not, this is the way I guess I release all my pain, my whatever you want to call it. It's just a totally different kind of high when you're on here.
Larry, are they giving you oral steroids? I mean, topical steroids for your mouth? Kenalog and Norabase or anything like that?
Oral,
I think it's more like an anesthetic than a steroid.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're giving them MBX, Mylanta, Benadryl, and lidocaine?
No, they'll give me, what is that stuff, Jake? 1 second, hold on.
He's checking.
Yeah, that's a pretty tough thing to treat it orally. We still do. We still give a preparation that sticks to the gum, but it's got something called Kenalog in it, a steroid.
Do oral steroids raise blood sugar the way that an injection does?
Yeah, yeah. The big difference between what is it, Larry?
Here's what I used to take. Okay, see that? Now they're coming out. I'll get it tomorrow. The name of it.
I can't make it out. Okay, all right.
Diclone.
Yeah.
They don't make this anymore, so they had to find someone that made it, and they did. But it comes in large compounds, so they did, and the price isn't really too bad. And I need it, so when it comes out, I'll give you how long. I'll let you know what it is. So
yeah, the problem, and to answer your question, it does increase because I'm a diabetic. Anytime I'm put on oral prednisone, it increases my sugar. Injection probably even more so because the difference with an injection versus oral is the oral has to go past the liver on what we call a first pass. When you inject it or give something IV, it circumvents the liver for the first pass. And yes, so, for instance, something like Demerol is pretty effective when you give it IM or intramuscularly. Take a Demerol pill; it's probably less effective than aspirin because the first pass of the liver wipes most of it out. So I'm glad they got something. So you've got no more fever, right, Larry? No more fever.
No more fever. Just a weakness, hard to breathe. Now they did find when they did the swallow test that when it goes down, it doesn't stop here. Right below the Adam's apple, right by the trach, below the trach.
You're not swallowing?
If you go below the trach with your finger, to my right, and I go back up the throat, right about
Okay.
in there, they found this pouch. It said like a kangaroo pouch. And that the food, some of the food that I swallow is going in there. So, and then they told me, this doctor called and said that before they released me that it's some big, huge name and that I need to get it looked at. Okay. One doctor said I don't have to immediately get it looked at. The other one said I do. So I already told our doc, so we're taking care of all that. So if it's not one thing, it's another. You know, I can't go see about all these things at one time, I told him.
No.
It's enough on me right now just to deal with this. And so I don't
So
know.
you have occasional trouble swallowing.
Yeah. Well, not all the time. Depends
No,
on
occasionally. That's called dysphagia. What's up with the breathing, Larry? Because I notice every once in a while you're taking deep breaths. You having trouble breathing, getting wind?
Yeah, the pneumonia.
Oh, okay. All right. I forgot about that.
He's
Jeez.
really being too energetic right now for it. He has to rest a lot and needs to stay calmer.
Doc, I'm what's left of the Transylvanian devil. But,
yeah, but, you know, I know they want you to rest, but it's hard, man. Eventually, it's like, you know, you got to do something. So if you like hanging out, just don't get too excited, you know, and hang out here.
I could do this every night, believe it or not. You can ask
Oh,
Jake.
me too.
This is my blood. This right here is the blood that flows in my vein. People don't understand. And that one guy asked me, well, what do y'all talk about? What do y'all do? Well, you need to come on and check it out. Only a pen person would do it. And then he said, do y'all come anything about pens? Well, we talk a little bit about pencils, roll the ball, whatever comes up. Yeah. He just doesn't get it. I said, because you're not in with the in crowd joking around with them. I mean, you got to love this stuff to really be on it. You actually got to say, this is what I love. This is what I do. You know, so now look at Mr. Stan. He might as well go
lucky.
to Las Vegas and win us some money. Oh, Stanley. Huh. So anyway, back to this stuff, whatever all this stuff is. The doctor said that it's something that I'm going to have for a little while. He said that it was so severe. That's why, and the doctor was at the hospital stay and almost passed away that Monday. My blood pressure was 50/39. And I was on oxygen and all this stuff. And what? I didn't know you could die from it.
It was serious, Larry. Plus, with all the medication you take for your condition, I mean, that's what they call immunosuppresses you a great deal. And so it doesn't allow you to really be able to fight stuff off. The thing with long-term antibiotic use, you got to be careful about yeast infections.
Yeah.
Overlaying that. So right. Have any trouble with your bowels, let your doctor know right away.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And like the my thought. What was I going to say? Go ahead, carry on, somebody. I'm in that.
I don't remember much more than you do, Larry. Anyway, it don't matter. You know. So the say, Larry. By the way, you know, while you got some time to kick around there on your time off, don't forget. You know, we talked about Jake Weidman for the to get on. John Brooks, who's now I think in Baltimore show, and Dan Smith from the Nib Smith.
Oh, that's right. And the Baltimore show is on the 11th. So it's going to be Jonathan. Name it again, Doc.
Jake Weidman, the guy who does the calligraphy, the sculpting, all that stuff. And amazing. And he's a penman too. He's a master penman. And there's a bunch of people. So
okay.
Enough to keep you busy, bud, let me tell you.
Okay, I got Jake Weidman. Who else did you say?
Jake Weidman, Jonathan Brooks. Jonathan Brooks is he's the owner of Carolina Pen Company. While he does while he does make pens, he's really, I mean, I don't think he has any time to make pens anymore. He's got orders for thousands of blanks now. I mean, literally thousands.
Acrylics, yeah.
And they're beautiful. I've seen some.
And he does he's got one of my, I gave him my Nakaya Dorsal 2 to Riarushi for me. And so he's a real busy guy. But then you've got, I said, Jake Weidman, him, and Dan Smith of the Nib Smith. He's not a pen maker, but he's a nib meister.
And I'm trying to get him.
Yeah, that's another one. I'm trying to think who else. There's I could probably even get, if you're interested in penmanship and writing, I could probably get Michael Solon.
Yeah, I do. I want all of it.
Mike's a good friend of mine.
They always bring something new to the table, something refreshing.
Oh yeah.
It's like you're making a cake or something, a recipe, and they all kind of go together. Everybody's different and unique. They have their own ways and style. So that's one thing we got, at least me, got to look at. So, because I may say, well, this fellow's not doing like him. Of course, he's not like him, but they have their own ways. And let's see, who's the guy that you helped me get on here? Makes that round big disc. He also makes
Weidman.
Who
was it? Weidman?
It could have been the young guy.
Yeah.
No, Weidman hasn't been on here. You're not talking about Stephen Brown, are you?
No. He also
the pen repairer, the Asian guy.
No. There's this stone, remember, Doc, that he was working on or something real beautiful. I don't know what he was doing.
Well, Jake Weidman's been doing that, but he hasn't been on the show yet.
Right.
Who was the young guy that you had that was the young artist?
Michael Ward?
Michael Ward.
Michael Ward. That's
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't doing anything on stone, though.
well, I call it stone. Who knows what it is?
I think it was
He's a Canadian young man from Canada.
Yeah.
Great guy. I'm going to bring him back.
Yeah, I mean, even I didn't know how into vintage pens he was. I mean, he was pretty knowledgeable about vintage pens. Same thing with the kid Aiden. I just got a beautiful letter from him in the mail.
Mm-hmm.
Aiden had to cancel him. First of all, that was the wrong date. He was the next day. Second of all, I couldn't do it. I was just too weak. And I'm going to schedule him for whenever.
Yeah.
But he said he was busy. I said, well, let me know. I said, if I'm open, you can come on. I can't do any more than that. It's just when I get slots filled, that's it. And right now for March, they're getting pretty well full.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah.
So who was the other guy? Oh, was it man Abel?
Abdiola Costa.
Okay, Abiola Costa. Yeah, he's going to be coming on.
Who is
That's
that?
very, very interesting. He's an artist and he's a pen guy.
Okay.
And he's combining his fountain pens with art and putting them all together and creating art. Really some beautiful work. I think Troy mentioned him the other day. So that's going to be really, really cool. I'll be showing some of his artwork soon. He's going to be coming on. Who else? Lord, I don't have my list, but
Diego Irigoyen, Diego.
Irigoyen, yeah.
Diego's gonna come back.
Others.
Kirk Spear.
Kirk Spear's coming.
Who's Kirk?
Nib Smith?
Hi, Liz.
Yeah, he's a Nib Smith. He's Pen Realm. His company's Pen Realm.
Okay.
Oh, that's the guy, right?
Right.
Yep. What's that?
You know him, right, Mike?
Oh yes, I met him at the Chicago Pen Show, and he's been doing a lot of great things for me. He's the one I have tuned my nibs before I ship them. So all my nibs are now are tuned. He's doing all the tuning. So
what's his name?
He's a great guy. Kirk Spear.
Spiel?
Spear. Speer. And you can see him under Pen Realm. His company's name is Pen Realm.
Okay.
Yeah, is he a Nibmeister?
Yes, he's a Nibmeister. Yes.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yep.
Here's my plan, guy.
He ground a couple.
I'm still looking for left-handed pen writers. I'm still looking for Nibmeisters. I'm still looking for fellows that make their own pens. I'm still looking for the younger generation as well to give their input on pens. So we got a lot of stuff lined up that I've been looking for, but it's, it takes a while to get these people, even find them. But let me see. We have, I'm still waiting for Kevin, but yeah, Kurt Spears will be at 6:30. What day was that? Right here. on the 17th, Thursday of this month. So he's going to be on. Michael Riggs is going to be on the 19th at 5. Diego's going to be on Sunday at 2. And then we're going to have, I said that name, Astiel or whatever again? Abiel again on the Thursday, the 24th at 6 p. I know we're going to have him again on the 27th.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Acosta's on the 27th.
Yeah. Now, things could change for any of these, remember, because the Pen show, because the art show, because school break is that week of the 21st. So that's still. And then
There's another guy. I don't know if you guys have heard of him or not. He's got a YouTube channel called Peter Draws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen them? He would be really an interesting guy to get on here.
That's
He's
true.
amazing. And he
got a great personality.
Yes, really.
Yeah,
He's such a
great
fun
personality.
guy, you know.
He cut his hair.
Peter Draws. I don't know
So-
if you would look into him, but he'd be tremendous to get on here.
I
You think?
posted a link to a guy named Matthew Chen. This is interesting because I just sent a pen to Mike Masayama, who's my primary guy I use. And he says, you know, if somebody can't wait, he highly recommended Matthew Chen. So his website's up there. I don't know anything about him, but for that to come from Mike Masayama, willing to send somebody else work, that's a pretty high recommendation.
What's his name again, Doc?
It's in
Matthew
the
Chen.
chat section. Matthew Chen. It's Matt's Nibworks. If you look at the second post in the chat section, you'll see Matthew Chen. I know nothing about him, never used him, but that recommendation came from Mike Masayama.
And what did he do? The pen guy?
Pen guy, Nibmeister, yeah.
Got it. Mhm.
Because Mike has literally a ridiculous backlog of work. And so, you know, I usually pay extra to have him, you know, give me the work in half the time. But I mean, it's just amazing how much work he's got. I mean, yeah. If you take a look at, I'm going to share the screen real quick if I can.
Yeah, you go ahead, Doc.
This is the email from Mike. Can you see it on the right side of the screen?
Yes.
So he's not accepting, he's temporarily accepting domestic orders only. His current backlog at 16 weeks for a pen. Only accepts a certain number of pens. If you want to get something turned around quicker, it's more money. But I mean, just to get him at these pen shows, that's one of the reasons I used to love going to the Atlantic show, because he'd come in, I'd give him 2 pens and he'd work on them. It's amazing what he can do for pens that aren't doing well. But he recommended that kid, and so I think that would be an interesting thing to. Let me just take this off here.
Hey, Doc, real quick, we also have one of the Pen Hangout thing again on the 22nd, okay,
22nd
of this month. Yeah. I'm doing them twice a month right now. And we'll be on at 6.
Dan,
Well,
thanks for recommending Gina. I heard she's really good too.
Yeah, she was at Philippine show here, and that's why when I wanted her to grind one of my nibs, I went at the opening of the show, and she was already booked up for a whole day.
I'm sure. I've heard she's excellent. Yeah.
Yeah, so she's very busy too, so she's very good. I left the pen with her whenever she returned. I don't know.
I think one of the things you talk about Nibmeisters, Nibsmiths, that sort of thing. One thing that I'm very interested in knowing more about, and I bet Dr. Joe could do this one after seeing the one he did on pencils. And that is, I know I've read about it and seen the descriptions, but I'd like to have a little bit more personal approach to explaining it and writing with it. And that is when you get into the Italic Nibs and all the different kinds of nibs that are out there. Like Mike Massiano's got on his site, he has a description of some of them, shows some close-up photos and that sort of thing. But I'd like to have somebody tell me the difference between them from a writer's standpoint, what to expect if you were to get one of these special grinds. Yeah, I'd like to know more about the special grinds.
Yeah, I could do something like that. Even, you know, it's well, if we can get Dan Smith, I'm sure he would do it. You know, he does like the architect grind and stuff like that.
Yeah.
A lot of yeah, Larry, go ahead.
Real quick, now, I don't know if y'all heard Frank from
Federalist
Pens.
That one second. That he has nibs. I think they're Bach nibs. That the fellow you just mentioned.
Yes, Mark Bacchus.
Yeah, Bacchus. Yeah.
Mark Bacchus grinds it.
He has some. You might want to check his site if you're interested.
Okay, yeah.
And they're not a bad price. They're still, but they're still not a bad price.
They're about what they charge for you.
Yeah. I mean, I've read a little bit, but I'd like to have somebody personally describe it a little bit more. Maybe give them a demonstration of what they do, what they feel like.
One of the limitations, Dan, about any kind of nib like that is that typically it requires the pen to be held at a certain orientation. All right, where when you got a rounded point like most of us use on it, doesn't matter what angle the pen is at. But if you're talking about something that's an oblique or a stub nib, you know, you get thick and thin lines based on the angulation of that pen. You don't alter it. Then there's more specialty pens that are made for Japanese folks where it's a Fude pen. It's the one where the nib is bent outward. It's bent upward.
Oh, I've seen the pictures.
Yeah, that's supposed to mimic a brush, even though that doesn't really happen. But that's specifically meant for, I think, Japanese writing, I believe. Not that you couldn't use it. Then there are other nibs that angle down like a beak. Others are meant to be even written on the reverse side. Japanese have some very specialized points.
I've seen one that were actually curved the opposite way, up.
Yeah, well, that's what I was talking about. The Fude.
That's a Fude nib, yeah.
Yeah, it's bent upward. It's not something I can use.
Music nibs and that sort of thing.
Well, music nibs are meant to be, if you think about a musical note, right? In one stroke, you get the rounded part or the heavy part, and then you keep the nib where it gives you a thin line, goes straight up for the staff. I mean, that's the whole point of these things.
Yeah, it's basically a stub nib.
Yeah, exactly. Some of them have double slits. Just keep in mind, double slit is cool to look at, but it's a pen that requires really knowledgeable adjusting because you've got 3 different tines on that. And then the ink flow becomes critical. And so, there's so many different kinds. There's left oblique grinds, you know, if you don't want to angle, you know, but it all depends on how you hold the pen. I've seen some people choke up on the pen so high that all of a sudden certain nibs aren't going to work for them. I can use the broad edge nibs, like Mont Blanc makes a beautiful broad edge, almost like looks like a chisel. And that's for doing like
and they're really off the wall, you know, custom grinds, like stacked nibs with 5 slits, and you know, I've seen.
And expensive.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Especially the gold ones. The what was I looking for?
Excuse me, Doc. You said the Mont Blanc makes a broad X nib, or what did you say?
It was one of their custom nibs. I've tried to get my hand. I don't write that way, but it looks like if you look at the close up of that nib, the front of it looks like a chisel. It's wedge shaped, and it's meant when you take the best broad edge people around, calligraphers, they write with extremely sharp nibs to give them really fine lines when they lift the stroke up. I don't do that kind of work, so it's really a waste for me. But I would say if somebody wants to play around with that, Dan, look into the Pilot parallel pens.
I also want to say that I was going to bring on today, but I didn't. I'll probably bring it on when we come on again next week after next. I don't know if y'all have already seen them. Mont Blanc different nibs that they carry, and they show how they lay down the wrist cross and bottom.
Mhm.
I mean, they even have oblique line, they have oblique left, they have oblique right, they have double oblique, you name it, they got it. And the thing is right now, when I was waiting for mine a few months ago, it took a long time because there's no backlogs on these specialty nibs.
Yes,
When they came
yes.
out. But back to that, I think you call it an italic nib, were you?
Yeah.
My thing on that is, I'm not too pretty cool on those because you have to learn how to use them. And the corners kind of dig into the paper if you don't hold them right or use them right. I think once you get that going, know how to use it, I think it'd be kind of neat. They do lay some nice lines down. You just have to not let it dig into your paper, or you're gonna have a bad experience with it, you know. So
Now, don't they also have a kind of italic nib they call an italic cursive? Oh, cursive italic? What's
Yeah.
that mean? What's the difference in an italic and a
It's
cursive?
smoother. It's smoother than the regular italic. The edges of the nib smoothed out, grinded out to be smoother. So it's not as sharp on the paper.
10 more minutes.
Wow. okay.
Exactly.
And with the regular italic, you really have to be specific how you hold it or touch it paper. With cursive italic, you have some forgiveness.
If you're not used to holding a pen in such a rigid position, you may not enjoy it. I mean, part of the whole thing about writing is the joy of writing. And so for people that do that kind of work, you're talking about something that is really specialized. And even myself, I mean, I wouldn't enjoy writing with that way all the time. It can give you a real beautiful effect, but it's most important is whatever nib you choose, it's got to suit your style of writing, or it's not going to be fun for you. I'm going to share my screen again. There are, this is called the Nagahara, Sailor Nagahara King Cobra nib. This is a really special nib, perhaps the most special of all the Nagahara nibs. I'll go ahead and put this into presentation notes. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
This is
Oh,
made
yeah.
by Nagahara Senior. This is a master at work. Okay. Now I'm going to show you the underside. You see the tip?
Whew.
Ooh.
Wow.
And then from the side.
Right.
Is that the one where the feed actually bends upwards when you need it to?
No. That was something that I believe ASC did.
Okay.
The Armando Simone Club did that. But that's a really special. You can imagine that nib lays down ink like a fire hose. So the ironic thing is most Sailor pens are converters. They do make a few that are plungers, but there's a limited amount of, but to make a nib like that, I mean, the workmanship that Nagahara's son is now, his son is now doing that, but the nibs aren't, in my opinion, as refined as the fathers. The fathers were the father did one for a guy on the fountain pen group and took his 149 and did a double layer on the 149. It looks like it came out of the factory. I don't know if I can find that.
Now, you might want to take a few notes if you remember. What I like to talk about when we see again in a few weeks on some nibs like the Fude nib.
Yeah.
Like talk about that, not tonight, but when to talk about that, people can give their feedback, what they know about that, and share their thoughts or likes or dislikes. Now, don't forget that there are a lot of copies made of this pen as well. So that would be interesting. Real quick on that. What do y'all think about some, what was it that Frank, I was going to ask questions or anybody can ask the pen trivia?
Nice.
Remember, Frank?
Yep. Yeah, we didn't come up with any questions at this point, but
what was the topic?
I mean, the one question that, as an example was the first fountain pen, who made the first fountain pens?
Right. That should be
I
fun.
thought Mike Green did that.
Mike Green, yeah, that's good.
He's older than he looks, right?
Okay, we're getting close for me anyway. Let's talk about, we got 10 more minutes. Let's mention everybody that we know that's going to be at the Baltimore Pen Show. That's on the 11th of this month. It's going to be Doc, take it away.
Ryan Krusak will be there. John Brooks will be there. I believe Michael Sull will be there. That's about all. I mean, of course, the Leonardos and the ASC, who's ever representing them. Carrie Yeager from Fountain Pen Day will be there.
We know
I
if
think
Frank
Mike
from
Rick-
Federalist
Frank
Pens
for
will be there.
Federalist,
Frank
yeah.
will be there.
Mike Griggs will be there. I think Jim Hines will be there. Mike, are you going to be there? Mike Green?
No, I will be at the Chicago Pen Show though. Right now I'm planning on Chicago, St. Louis, and I'm thinking about Dallas. I think I might get Dallas.
Doc, are you going to be there?
I'm looking forward to St. Louis. I've never been to a pen show. So
Anybody here?
it's in June.
Anybody here? Like, I don't want to get off. Like, anybody here going to be at the Dallas Pen Show?
No, sorry, Larry.
I will.
All right.
Be there?
Doc, why can't you be there?
No, Larry, I work, man.
I know you work and do all the pen shows. Come on, brother. Give the man a break. It'll be the last time I ever get to meet you, Doc. You're going to feel bad.
You'll get a chance.
Okay, Doc. We got to get Doc out there, y'all. Could we all can meet, hang out?
That'd be fun.
It would be fun. It would be.
Be fun.
Now, you see how ecstatic he is, but we'll try. I don't know how. I know what we'll pay for his plane to and from and his hotel. How's that?
Who, me?
You.
No, that's not what stopped me from going, Larry. Jeez, I was supposed to go to a dental meeting in Philadelphia. I'm graduate of the University of Pennsylvania.
Well, Doc, how about one more chance? I would rent you a private jet.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
But anyway, give it some thought. I don't know how we get Stan out there, or Dan the man, or Mike.
Hey, real quick, let me. I think I might have showed you guys this before. This is the Nagahara Modification to 149. You see that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You can't
Beautiful.
even. That looks like it was factory done.
Wow.
So he basically split a nib and then welded the two dip tine sections on top. I don't have a side view, but it's bi-layered. So it'd be two layers.
Okay.
I mean, that's just amazing. Anyway.
Fascinating.
Yeah, we could look into doing something about it, but unless you can talk about these nibs, Dan, but unless you put them in your hand, and I've used most of them. If you have an interest in broad edge work, think about a Pilot parallel pen's a pretty relatively inexpensive pen, and Aziza actually modified an an Opus. We can pull the nib in there. It becomes like a gigantic fountain pen with a gigantic broad edge. But that's what I'd recommend. Something like the Few Day or that one I just showed you, the Cobra, King Cobra nib. I mean, unless you're looking to lay down massive lines.
Yeah.
I like Italic Nibs for signatures.
Yeah.
Like,
Is that it? Yeah, just for signature.
But if you look at the true form of italic cursive, when you look at somebody who's a friend of mine who's no longer around, a guy named Brian Welker from England, was a master of italic cursive. I've got some of his work. But when they throw the connector stroke or the end it with it's meant to be a very sharp line. But it's having to hold it in a certain angle. What's the matter, Larry?
Cooties.
Oh, I thought you'd please.
I'm backing away from the screen now. Yeah.
I'm trying to get my jam back. Sorry.
You're not supposed to get excited, you remember?
Oh, I know. I'm trying not to. But I have a lot of fun on these things. I'm sorry. I should have been in the circus, right?
No.
No. Anyway. So, Doc, real quick, how you been feeling, man? Because I know you got your thing going on too. I mean,
Yeah, I can't complain, Larry. Everything I've done to myself. You were talking about A1C at one time, right? Now, for those of you who may not know, but A1C is how you look at diabetes. It's a long-term marker, right? So typically anything above 5.5 to 6 is considered
a good cholesterol, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I remember talking, this is years ago, I wasn't a controlled diabetic then. I remember asking my doc, well, doc, I heard the highest your A1C could be is about 12.2. He says, I hope not, because you're at 13.1. Hence the reason I have peripheral neuropathy and retinopathy in my eyes and all that stuff. Yeah, so I've been a bad boy for a lot of years.
Is that going to go away with time?
Not anytime
A
soon.
retinal specialist wants to do, and it's going to sound crazy, but intraocular injections.
Oh, what?
So what they do is they inject your eyes with an anti-epithelial growth factor that tries to slow down the proliferation of blood. Because what you're talking about is vessels, and it vascularizes. And so I remember talking, I shouldn't joke about this, but when I went to my retinal specialist, I said, how is it, doc? He said, look at me. I says, it's bad. And so I'm not sure I want to do the intraocular injections, but this is not something like Larry with the pemphigus. That's not your fault. You know, I'm the guy who's the main blame for this, the way I ate most of my life. And so, I'm not crying anything about it. I earned this, let's put it that way. So I'm trying to do something about it now. But some of the medications, I've told Larry this, that they treat for peripheral neuropathy can be really not damaging, but really tank your IQ. I mean, when I was on drug called gabapentin, my staff would say to me, what's the matter with you? So I wouldn't remember things. I couldn't remember conversations, so I had to come off that. I went on something else, and that even affects your memory to some degree. So, ain't the same as
I was on it once and they took me off. Same thing. Yeah, quit. What has happened now? I take that. What shall I take? Remember, for the arthritis? Talks. And also, I'm getting this crippling arthritis in my hands, so I can be sitting there watching TV or have a pen in my hand. It'll just freeze up and lock up so bad you'll scream. That's how bad it hurts. Doesn't happen all the time, but it does.
See,
I guess the whole body's going to be looking like this.
You need larger diameter pens, Larry. Small diameter pens that do not help people. They think, oh, it's nice and delicate. No. You ask a hand specialist, you want a bigger gripping section.
Big girthy pens.
Yeah,
exactly.
You need that Mr. Cypress pen.
Yeah, that last one I got, it's massive.
I like that. Were they expensive?
Well, they list that pen on their site for $18.77, and so that's like, I don't know how many. Liz, I got like 6 pens from them now, 7 pens. So they gave me the pen for $1,300, which is not cheap.
Count.
Yeah, it's not cheap. I know that, but it's it wasn't $18.77. But even so, I was willing to pay that for the pen because I wanted a huge pen like that. I wish I would have kept one of my Emperors to compare it, but it's about the size of an Emperor. The main difference is, and Mike, when you talked about your pen stepping down, this has a step down. I can still use it, but the difference between that and an Emperor, the nib on that Emperor is so massive that there is no step down. The grip section's wider than the nib, and that's a big, wide nib, let me tell you. So, no, it's a beautiful pen.
On that pen you're talking about, Doc, is it, I'm sure it is, how much bigger is it than the King of Pens?
Bigger than the King of Pens. It's a lot bigger than the King of, let's put it this way. I can't put the pen into my Italian pen cases. It wouldn't fit there. It will not fit. That's how long it. I mean, I think I sent Liz the actual measurements of that pen, which is just absolutely ridiculous. I have here. This is it.
You posted it, didn't you? You just posted it.
I'll share the screen with you guys. Yeah, and I put, you guys have seen this.
That's beautiful.
This is
wow.
That's it.
Damn.
You can't
All
tell.
this is being done, isn't it, Doc? I love the tiger, man. Look at that. Look at that.
What they do is they have these flat panels. If you look carefully, you'll see the vertical lines. They break the panels to fit them around the curvature of the pen. That's the one. That is the one that that they call the 4 Shin. The other one I posted, which is this one here, and this will take me long to show you. Same type of thing. I decided to show them this way because my fancy setup, the lights were just blinding everything. So this is the rabbit pen. And interestingly, as I told Liz, I didn't see a second rabbit on there. When it comes back around toward the bottom, there's another rabbit crouched down. I didn't know there were 2 rabbits on there. See that one there?
I didn't see that at first either. That's beautiful.
Yeah, and so after a book, I was talking to Liz about it, a book called Watership Down, which is a children's book about rabbits. I named those rabbits Fiber and Hazel. So after that, and the one that I had, the owl, is Soren after the guardian.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
He had one with goldfish on it that I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, they got, I don't know. I'm not sure how many pens I sold for them because you keep going on their site. Everything seems to be sold out now. A lot of those things are being, for that, but it's just, it's something that they compare. Do you have any idea what that would cost if that was in the Miki pen? I love the Miki. I love them, those pens. Or if that was in the Kaya, just simple rod and designs with just a little bit of flex in there could cost $2,000. With those kinds of designs.
Do you use an extra fine nib on that?
Yeah, I've got, John will be getting me a Yovo. I could care less if it's 14 or 18 karat gold, but it'll be an extra fine nib. And then we're going to put custom designs on there for the engraving, laser engraving. So the rabbit I want on the nib is actually a line drawing Thumper from Disney. Remember Thumper? Oh, yeah. So, but I don't know if that'll work. I got to see what John says will work. And I got a real fancy number 4 from an old master penman. I could have written it myself. I just didn't want to. I got a beautiful image of it, so I'll let him use that.
There's a rabbit from Winnie the Pooh too.
That's cool too.
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
I like the rabbit, the dragon. I like the tiger. I like to have squirrels on mine. Turtle.
Yeah, what's not evident from that pen, from that what I showed you, is that there's also a turtle on that pen. There's a phoenix. Oh yeah, the one that's called the Forshin, I think I have a static image of that, is here. This will show you what these things look like before they break them up to put them around the pen. But that's the actual panel. You see it?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you see a dragon, you see a turtle.
Yeah.
You see a lion, a tiger, I guess, and there's the phoenix, part of the phoenix.
Phoenixes, yeah.
And a few
Yeah.
Hey, do they ever have flying squirrels? I think I need one of them.
I got news for you. I'm sure they can do it for you, because I did ask, could I get another pen the same size with some other thing? It's of course. I mean, it just take time to do it, but I was fairly impressed. And I first looked at those when Tony Restici, that bum who turned me on to it and hasn't bought one himself. Meanwhile, I'm on like my 1600th pen from them. I love Tony. I'm only joking, but it's amazing because I didn't think the quality of work was there when I first looked at the images. But boy, in my hand, they're beautiful, just beautiful. Wow. Or else I wouldn't have, and then plus they also do the 3776 nib. If you're a fan of the Platinum 3776, I have, that ebony one, that ebonite one that's made with the 3776 nib. Of course, the pen is a little over $400 because they're adding the cost of the Platinum 3776 to it. And the other one I bought, I don't think I showed this yet, and I haven't gotten it. Have you heard of Eboya pens? Yeah, Eboya. I just bought an Eboya, the large one in red, ebonite. So we'll see when that comes in. I bought that from, I can't remember who. But I think that's enough pens for 1 month.
I think.
I'll take a rest until tomorrow.
Real quick, the Noodlers Triple Tail. Anybody have one or their opinion about it? For me, I love it. Triple Tail. Noodlers Triple Tail. I think that's his name.
That's a music nib?
No.
It's it's a flex nib with 2 slits at 3 times.
And it really, for me, it's a fire hose. I love it.
Yeah, you got to, if you ever get a chance to try to show one of those sailor cross pens with the the bi-layered ones. I mean, they literally, it's a fire hose of ink. This is, by the way, guys, this is the Eboya pen. If you haven't seen one of these before.
Oh yeah, I did see the picture of that. That's beautiful.
Yeah. So it's
it's got the pinched thing, right? Is that the pinched one?
I love the color. It's cool.
That one had, where is it?
That was an Urushi with a pinched feeling, wasn't it? Oh, look at that! Wow.
That's and Mike, that has just it's. I think those edges are slightly rounded, Mike. I think. Although I won't know until I get the pen. Sometimes they put a real light polish around that edge, so it's not as sharp. But that's it.
Yeah.
It comes with a medium fine nib. I've been trying hard to
beautiful
get away from ultra extra fine.
Beautiful. Yeah.
All All right, folks, before we split, anybody have anything they'd like to say before we go? Because we'll be on tomorrow, don't forget.
Tomorrow is Miss Marilyn. Who's on tomorrow?
I am.
Mike. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm on.
Mighty Mike.
Is that open for everyone, or is it just you and Mike?
Look at the, what do you have it on? I told you.
Let's see. Open.
It says Hangout with Mike Green. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Liz, remember I asked if you could be on and you said you couldn't be on at that time, later maybe?
So it's at, what time is it? Your time?
6, Mike?
Yeah,
6 Central.
Yep. 6 is what
So
you have it
it's
down
4
for.
o'clock my time. 4 o'clock. Why did I say that? That's scary. Oh, I remember. Yes. So it was going to be like 4:15. I would be able to be
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll wait. Yeah, we'll be there waiting.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how long it would take me to get home. So
And
yeah.
I'll get back to
4:15.
you. I'll get back to you later and fill you in, okay? What I want us to do. Don't tell Mike because he'll get all scared. He won't come.
Uh-oh.
He's looking nervous.
Oh no.
Also, what I got to share, I did have 2 visitors come see me today. I had the door open, and I was sitting on the chair and heard this.
one of your critters.
I can't see nobody. There's nobody there. They kept doing that. Having to look down. Well, there they are, Mr. and Miss Duck.
They were back.
Yeah, and they were
Really?
telling me they were hungry, so I gave them food. Yep. Mr. and Miss Duck. Yay! What a
I'll
lovely
have to tell you about my newest neighbor. We have a wood duck house, and we have a screech owl that's moved into it.
Really?
Yeah, they're tiny little things. He's about this big, little bitty thing. And maybe if I can figure out how to get a picture on this darn thing, I'd show you guys some of this stuff. But I don't know how to do that. To go to my photos and show you, but I have to show you. They're really cool. Teeny tiny.
All right,
little
Doc,
things.
anything you like to say before we go, bud?
Who?
You.
Me?
Yes, sir.
I've been saying a lot since I got here, so
We
I
have-
think I'll keep my mouth shut.
we never say enough. Remember, that's what we're here for, to jab our lips.
Well, Larry, I'll leave you.
Frank's so quiet.
That's for Larry.
You're as bad as Michael.
I'm wearing that all day, man.
He's
I'll just
done.
add, don't drink and drive.
That's right. No, don't tell Dr. Doc. For
Don't
me,
text
it's-
and drive either.
Hey, for me, it's don't eat and drive for me.
I got rear-ended last year by a girl who was texting. I was stopped at a light in the school zone. And boom, I got hit from behind. Thank God it wasn't that, but it was a brand new lease car. And I had to have anyway.
What
Yep.
happened? Somebody
Oh,
hit
it
it?
wasn't bad. I wasn't hurt, Larry. It was just, she must have hit me at about 25, 30 miles an hour. I was stopped and I mean, knocked me into the intersection. Thank God.
Yeah.
Nothing else
Oh.
happened, but I just got the car not long before that. So thank God she had insurance to pay for it.
Mr. Stan, you're next.
I also said a lot. I don't know. And I also was in an accident last year, but that had nothing to do with driving or texting. I was a passenger. My brother was a driver, and this woman who decided to turn left right in front of us. We didn't have a chance. Both cars totaled. Wasn't good.
All right. How about Mr. Dan the Man from Squirrelsville?
I gave you my news. I got a screech owl. If I just figure out how to show you the picture, he's a cute little
All right, how
guy.
about Liz?
I've just been enjoying helping Joe spend his money.
Yeah. Trust me, he spends a lot of it.
I've got a new ink I forgot to tell you about. This is all, once
That's
again, this is Dr. Joe's fault. I'm trying to do one of the.
Oh, Dr. Joe won't take responsibility for that. He doesn't use that ink.
Yeah, but the first name on it, it says Irushizuki.
I ain't listening.
What is it?
This is bamboo. This is the
What is it? Which one?
Chikurin. It's bamboo. See how pretty that is?
It's a
Very
green
light.
ink, right? Yeah.
It's a very yellow green ink. Yes, very very light, very cool.
I also like their Murasaki Shikabu. It's like a purple. Yeah,
Yep.
that's beautiful.
Pink, purple, yeah.
I got a sample of that. It's pretty good. Yeah,
Beautiful ink. I love their inks.
I love the names. Shikibu.
I'm waiting
It's
on a
not like
bottle of,
Winnie the
Mike,
I'm waiting on a bottle of Pen BBS ink. that
What
I
is
like
it?
the color of. Number 160, Menta Aquatica.
Ah.
It's kind of greenish turquoise type of ink. Very nice color.
That sounds pretty.
There's lots of beautiful inks out there.
all right,
Yeah.
Mike, anything?
Well, let's see. Yeah, while we're talking about inks, here, look at this. You probably will recognize this, Doc. Yamabudo, right?
There you go.
Ah,
Looks dark.
I've been infected.
Okay, at the end, yeah.
Yeah, I was. I
Like
put
it?
it in my pilot pen here, and I've been
There you
using
go,
it for a
Dan. Now
while
you're a
now.
friend of mine.
Yeah, here's Yamabudo though in my notebook here. I've been using it a lot lately. So
that's pretty
it's
cool.
a very nice ink. Very nice ink. But
Yeah.
well, as we were talking about at the beginning, I've been very busy turning new pens. I've been
This is my
That's
Aurora.
pretty. Wow,
this
look at that.
is the one I've got inked up with Yamabudo.
That's
Yeah.
Aurora, right?
Fine, yeah, Aurora.
Beautiful.
One of the great things about Aurora is they make their own nibs in-house.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
And I forget the guy's name. I friended him on one. He's their nib master, the guy who helps making the nibs. But I was so pleased to hear that Sal's going to be making their own, Leonardo's going to make their own in-house nibs. I mean, I think for these manufacturers, that's got to be one of the separating points because, most of them are using, Yowa, and those are great nibs, or Bach, but if they really want to distinguish themselves like wristwatches, watches that still make their own internal calipers versus Swatch Company, which is, they're great mechanisms, but it's not like, Patek Philippe. I mean, that watch is separate from a lot of them. Breguet is separate. They make their own calipers. So thank God I don't have that habit anymore. It's nothing, Liz, compared to pens. Watches are, wow, so far out there.
Liz, anything for you?
Show me my money, Larry.
That's right, the money. You're the money child. Okay, yeah. She's into money. I'm sorry, I forgot. Yeah.
No, I don't have much going on here. Spring is starting, so we're doing some more getting outside more, which is nice.
Go ahead and take that, somebody.
Are those John Brooks?
yes. I did get.
That's mine.
These are Liz's. That's why I brought them up.
That's mine.
This is the blank called abalone. Liz, I took a shot of the blanks I got from Mr. Brooks, and Liz chimed in right away and said, "The abalone, that's mine."
Mine. I saw it on Instagram.
Yep, you can see I've got her name on it. So it's waiting. This is all in the queue now. There'll be an abalone pen soon. So.
Yay!
Very nice.
Awesome. That's beautiful.
Yeah, they're beautiful. They're beautiful.
Absolutely.
Larry's getting past your bedtime.
Okay.
Thank you, Mother.
Hey, Mike, do you have any? Do you have medium Bach nibs?
Oh yeah.
You do? Save one.
Yeah, we
for
haven't.
me.
Yeah, we'll work that out for you.
Okay. I love the fines, but I'm going to try the medium.
Very good.
No,
What
Mike,
about
she's not getting the one I think, is she?
I have a medium Botany, but one
Well,
of the it's writes on a finer side.
No.
Okay, you're playing both sides of the fences. I see.
No. Liz basically saw this when I shot a picture of all the Jonathan Brooks. I got about a dozen pieces, and I got this abalone, and she said, "I want
pretty.
that one."
That's pretty.
That's not the same as this one here, right? This is a different blank. Okay.
Yeah,
This is the
yeah,
red and black
yeah.
ebonite, and it's got a name on it too. All right.
Oh, I love that name on it. Yeah.
Is
The
that
name is
Jonathan
on
Brooks?
it. No,
Is
this
that
is
Jonathan
ebonite.
Brooks?
This is ebonite here.
But it's not
Yeah.
a Jonathan Brooks ebonite.
No, it's not a Jonathan Brooks. This is not Jonathan Brooks, but But I was lucky. Jonathan was very generous and set up a feed and gave access to it to people who listen to his podcast. And I was able to finally score some Jonathan Brooks blanks. So I've got a nice collection to play with now. So I'm very happy.
John, but he's so busy. I don't even know if I could persuade him to get. It's just the amount of.
Oh no! He did this. This was a special deal he did a couple of weeks ago or a week ago, whatever. And but if you go to his site normally and you just look, all of his blanks are just gorgeous, but they're all marked out of stock. He's, like you were saying before, he's doing them by the thousands for, he's got big name manufacturers buying his blanks now. And I don't know how he does it. He's like, does he sleep ever or?
Yeah, well, he's also, if he gets a little bit of help, I think he's got one or two people helping him, but it's still not sure. You got to be careful how you breathe that stuff in. He wears there's a shot of him on Instagram with this full face mask on.
Okay.
These monomers you don't want to be breathing into too much. So, but thank God he's.
Are you talking about he had that mask thing?
Yeah, did you see that, Larry?
Yeah.
Yeah, he because this stuff, even with the rushi, a rushi in its raw form can be very allergenic. You can have real problems with allergies with it. Once it cures, it's usually fine, but so he works with all that stuff. And he doesn't. I don't even think he makes pens much. He can still make them, but it's not what he was. He's getting all of his orders for the blanks.
His blanks are just going out the roof. Yeah.
All right, my little penny chickens. Time for us to go night night. Get in your nest with your pennies and go sleep with your eggs and all that stuff.
I wish.
What are you gonna do next, Doc?
I'm probably going to get a pint of ice cream. No, just joking. I'm going to go become a couch potato for a few hours, play some guitar. That's about it. We got the Masters golf tournament. I'm in Georgia, so Augusta. And that's where the Masters golf tournament. I'll tell you,
Georgia, yeah.
This place transforms for about 2.5 weeks. And restaurants double their prices. Everything goes up. People rent their homes out for $10,000, $15,000. For that period of time. And
that was in the desert too when I was in Palm Springs.
It's crazy. And,
it is.
Yeah, and so I totally avoid that area when that happens. I don't know. Become a couch potato, watch some TV.
All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for now. It's a really big show. So I'm going to go do my medicines. And they're nasty. I'm going to go in that back room, whine and cry and feel sorry for myself. So, no, I'm just teasing. I don't have time.
Glad you're back, Larry. Glad you're feeling better. Continue to pray.
Indeed.
Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you.
Good to see you all tomorrow night, I hope.
Okay.
Tomorrow night.
Maybe.
I hope.
Maybe.
All right. So, guys, take care.
Okay.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.